In this video, I'm going to show you how to make a double ribbon lei using 2 colors. I think these leis are so beautiful, and you can either wear them on the front side or the back side, whichever one you prefer. So since I'm only using 2 colors, there's actually 4 different types of ribbon leis that you can make. I'm going to be making the one on the left. Before we get started, make sure you watch the first ribbon lei tutorial that I made using only 2 ribbons. To make the double ribbon lei, all you need is ribbon. You need 2 colors, and for each color, make sure you cut 2 strands of 6 yards each. I purchased my ribbon from Paper Mart because they sell really large quantities for such a great price. To clarify from my first video, the ugly side that I was referring to is the dull side of the single-faced ribbon, whereas the shiny pretty side is the side with the satin finish. On the lei itself, it's pretty hard to tell the shiny side from the dull side, so I don't think double-faced ribbon is necessary. Also keep in mind that double-faced ribbon is a bit more expensive. Okay, let's finally get started. First thing is to cut 2 strands that is 6 yards in length of ribbon for each color. In this video, I cut 2 red strands and 2 blue strands, all 6 yards each. Then separate the ribbons and pair with the alternate color. Grab the end of the 2 different color ribbons and tie a knot. Make sure when you're tying the knot to leave about 1.5 inches at the end because we're going to need that later. Then carefully grabbing the blue ribbon, I'm going to make a loop. Then straighten the red ribbon, make it into a loop and stick it into the blue ribbon. Repeat with the blue ribbon by making another loop and sticking that loop into the red ribbon. It will probably feel a little bit loose, just make sure to tighten it by pulling the opposite strands. Now set this aside and repeat with the remaining 2 ribbons. After you have completed both, put one in each hand. Then you are going to cross the right one under the left one. When you do this, make sure that the left one still stays on the left side. Now you have 2 pairs of ribbons on both sides, one on the left and one on the right. Grabbing the bottom red ribbon, straighten out the ribbon to make a loop, and then stick the red loop into the upper blue loop. It might feel really loose, but don't worry. Once you keep braiding the lei, it will get easier. Be sure to use your thumbs and index fingers to hold the lei in place and help you tighten it. Then pull the corresponding blue ribbon. Here I am making the red loop bigger because it will make it easier to put the blue ribbon in it later. Do the same thing with the remaining red ribbon on the left side. Be sure to tighten the lei by gently tugging on the 2 red loops and the 2 bottom blue ribbons. The 2 knots that we tied earlier will be used later, so just push it out of the way for now. Then you just continue braiding the lei. Grabbing the blue bottom ribbon, we are going to make a loop and cross it to the top red loop. Pull the red ribbon that you just crossed the blue inside to tighten the lei. Make the blue loop larger and be sure to tighten. Continue with the remaining blue ribbon on the right side. Make a loop, stick it inside the red loop, and then pull the red ribbon to tighten. When you are tightening the lei, make sure that you are gently pulling it so that the ribbons remain flat. When I accidentally over-tighten the leis, I gently unpull them and still try to make sure it's tight enough. So that's it. You just continue braiding and then you're going to finish the lei. So grabbing the bottom red ribbon, making a loop and crossing it with the top blue ribbon, and then pulling and repeat At this point, you can tell that the ribbon lay is more established and it has more structure, so it should be a little bit easier for you to braid. All you need to do is keep on continuing to braid and make sure that you tighten as you go. After a few braids, I like to take my ribbon and stretch it out, so that way when I add onto the ribbon, it's easier to get later. Make sure you cross the ribbons by 2. A good way to remember this is by keeping the 2 ribbons on the same side. Here, both of the red ribbons are crossed towards the right side. This means that we have to take the blue ribbon and cross it towards the left side. So after doing a good amount of lays, I get a little paranoid that I'm not doing it correctly, so I always turn it around to make sure that everything looks good. This is the pattern that I was going for. Everything's all good, so I'm just gonna keep going. Just kidding, my back's kind of hurting, so I'm gonna take a little break. I'm gonna put my lay with Peri, my Perizosa I got from Costa Rica, and I'm gonna come back later. Okay, so I'm back from my break. I went to the bathroom, I had some food because I was a little hungry, and now I'm gonna continue making the lei. When you get to the end of the lei, there's going to be about 2-inch ribbon left. Instead of making a loop, straighten out the ribbon, stick it in the corresponding loop, and repeat with the other side. For some reason, whenever I make this lei, I always end up with only one short ribbon. Then all you need to do is take all of the ends of the ribbon and just tie it into a really tight knot. Then I use the remaining ribbon to make a bow. And then just double knotting the bow one more time. I know some people like to use hot glue gun to secure it, but I don't really care for that. If you want to, totally go for it. The last step is to cut off the remaining ribbon. And that's it. You are finally done with the lei. I love making these as graduation gifts for my friends and family. I know it might be tricky to make these leis at first, but I know you'll be able to make them with some practice. Let me know if you have any questions and see you all in my next tutorial.